Welcome to GPT SQL Builder for Google Sheets, powered by Coefficient. With this latest release, we're excited to make it easier than ever to import data from SQL-based systems like Redshift, Snowflake, MySQL, Postgres, or MS SQL using natural language prompts instead of writing your own queries. To get started, if you don't already have the Coefficient extension, you can install it for free from the Google Sheets Marketplace. When you're ready, we'll say we want to create a new import, and we'll choose a SQL-based system. For this demo, I'm using a Postgres dataset of website traffic. First, let's look at the available tables and columns using the old version of Coefficient's SQL importer. Here we can see our 3 available tables related to website traffic. And if I click into Websites table, we'll see a list of all the available fields. We could import this dataset directly. We can even apply some basic filters and pivots, but we won't be able to join multiple tables together or do some advanced analysis. So now that we've seen our data set, let's close this and open GPT SQL Builder. On the left here, we can already start writing our own SQL query, but what we'll focus on today is using GPT in this prompt text box over on the right. Let's start with a basic query to join all 3 tables together. We'll click Build, and there's our query, and we'll click Refresh. Perfect. Now we can see a large data table with many columns from all 3 tables combined into one. We can click Import, and Coefficient will import this dataset as a new tab in our spreadsheet. And there we go. We can see the exact dataset as we were looking at it is now its own tab. Of course, we can set a refresh schedule. Let's choose daily at 9 a.m. Now let's go back into GPT and try building something a little bit more interesting. This time I'll say, get me a list of emails, names, domains, and create dates. And we'll click Build. We can see our new query, and I'll click Refresh. And there's the 4 fields we asked for. Now let's try refining this query a little bit more. Let's add to it and say, only those created in year 2020 and order by create date ascending. And we'll click Build again. And we can see our new query is populated. Let's look at the data. Perfect. We have the same 4 fields, but now we're only looking at create dates in 2020 ordered in ascending order. I could import this as a new sheet, but let's keep going with a new example. Let's say show count of visitors grouped by email domain descending order. This is an interesting prompt that really leverages GPT. You'll notice that in our previous query, we returned the emails. So we only have a field called email address here. We don't actually have the email address domain, such as hotmail.com, as its own field. So this time we're asking GPT to actually separate the email from the domain and group by the domains, such as Hotmail, Gmail, and Yahoo. Let's see how it does. And there we go. We can see it's written this query that'll find the @ symbol, separate out the domain, and group by, and we'll refresh the data set. Awesome. There we go. We can see the breakdown by Yahoo, Hotmail, and Gmail. And again, we could refine this query a little bit more. Let's say we want 1 column for the year 2020 and 1 for 2021. And we'll click Build again. Here's our updated query, and we'll refresh. Now we can see our total visitor count for each domain, as well as the breakdown by year. And we can finish this off by importing this as its own Google Sheet. And there we go. We have our data just as we asked for it. Very excited to be launching this feature, and we can't wait to see what you build with it next.